So in this video, we'll be going over how to show a map in your application. The first thing you want to do is create a new file. This will be the bridging header file. So let's name it Jibestream app-bridging-header. Okay, create. And in this file, you would want to import all the frameworks. So let's just remove all of this here. And what you want to do is import the core kit, core-kit.h. You would also want to import the rendering, which is the rendering engine, rendering kit.h. And also you would want to import the controller kit, controller kit.h. And lastly, you would want to import the JMap, which is inside the controller kit. So now you have all those imported, and you can go back to your view controller, and you can set the delegate. And you would notice that the autocomplete does not reveal that you have those, so you would actually have to go to your build settings and include the bridging header file. So under Objective-C bridging header, you would type in the name of the header file that you just created. And then now you should be able to see in the view controller that the autocomplete would work. So JMap delegate. And now let's create some variables. Create a JMap variable and also a controller variable. And you would also need to create an IB outlet for the canvas. So we'll just name it canvas of the JMap canvas class. And then you would go to your storyboard and update the view to be of the class JMap canvas, and then you would link it. So now that has been successfully linked in your view controller. Then now we can start initializing the SDK. So first we want to add some options. So create options, create an option variable, initialize it, and then we will have to add in the host, basically the credentials, and you should have gotten these credentials from our support team. So I'll just copy and paste the demo server credentials here. And then you would have to also include the client ID, which is the second line here, and the client secret, and also the customer ID, which is 51, and the venue ID, which is 443. So now you can initialize the actual JMap with these options. So we'll call self.jmap, and then we'll use the JMap class with options, and we'll have to set the delegate. So then we would be able to listen to when the SDK gets initialized. So then we would have to add the JMap initialize call, and this call will get triggered after the SDK is initialized. So right here we want to check if there are any errors. If there are errors, then we want to print it out. Or we would show a default message saying initialization has failed. Else, this is where it's successful, and we would want to assign the control back to the controller. So now we can try to run it. see your simulator coming up. And it's blank. And that's because we've forgotten to include something in our initialization, which is our stage. So one important thing to note is that we need to include our stage. You can see that there are no error messages, so the SDK actually initialized properly. But one key important factor is this options.stage. We have to make sure to set that as the canvas itself so it knows what view to show up in the application. And there's also an optional parameter that we can set called clear cache data. Setting this to be true will basically tell the server or tell the SDK to pick up on any changes that are made on the CMS. So we run it again. We should now see that there is a map loading. And this is how you show a map on your application.